If you want to learn how AirDXB can dramatically increase the return on your asset, then drop us an email at gregory@air-dxb.com or visit our website, air-dxb.com. Louis Bowers.
Mr. Lewis.
Welcome, LB. How are you today?
Very good, thank you very much. How are we doing?
Very good, very good. Glad that you took time out of your busy schedule for us. And for those listening, Louis Bowers heads up our business development.
Yes.
So you are in charge of bringing on lots of wonderful new owners to work with AirDXB. So how are things? How are things going?
Yeah, very good, actually. It's been great. Obviously, ramping up into the winter season, we're seeing a huge amount of inquiries coming through from owners at the moment.
We have, haven't we? We had a record-breaking month last month, didn't we?
Phenomenal. 51 new properties coming on board. Absolutely brilliant from the team.
Which equates to 2 sign-ups every working day.
Yes.
And we haven't got the biggest team, so that's a phenomenal accolade. So well done. Well done.
No, thank you very much. Shout out to the team as well.
Shout out to
the
team
other
as
4
well.
members doing a brilliant job there.
Absolutely. So Louis, let's go back to the beginning. And I'm not going to say AirDXB because you've only been with us, 6 months now?
Give or take, yeah, 6 months. Feeling a lot longer, I must say.
Why? Don't be rude.
No, I think the expansion of AirDXB since I've joined has been unbelievable. I mean, we're now at 120 people, I believe. BD team itself went from, 1 with you doing it, all the way now we've got, 6, potentially 7 actually internally as well. People are progressing over into BD. So, yeah, massive changes the last 6 months, and the portfolio itself has skyrocketed, even through those summer months.
Well, hugely.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the company in a minute. Let's talk more about you, just for a short period if we may.
Of course.
As a salesman, and I love this story, as I recited in our meeting yesterday actually,
Yes.
day 2, Louis stood up on the phone to a client, I won't get to the nitty-gritty of it, but said, I can do you a deal, but I need a signature within the next 2 hours, and you got that signature.
Yes.
And so for someone that's stood up in front of, I hate to say it, but the boss, the owner of the company,
Number 1 man.
no more than a foot away, a meter away,
Yeah.
you do this, I'll do that, bang, and he signed. It was sit back in your chair, okay, this is an interesting individual that is going to move and shake. Fast forward now 6 months, your team has grown exponentially.
Yes.
In the sense of you and I to now 5, 6, thereabouts.
Yeah.
Listing 50 plus properties now a month, and that is only growing. I want to get to know why you have that level of capability. So let's just pull this back slightly.
Sure.
You work for a very large property platform, for advertising property platform with another member of staff, Leanne, who we've already had on the show back in the day. The largest, I'd say, property platform there is in Dubai, UAE, for advertising of property.
100%.
So working there, and I just want to touch on this, but we can then progress into AirDXB. But it's great to just get a bit more about you and how your sales tactics progress from that position within a real estate advertising platform into working at AirDXB for short-let. You can put an overall heading of real estate on it, even though on a holiday home, holiday homes, it's more hospitality. Short-lets could be considered more residential in the sense of real estate. But how did you find the migration from going in from working for a very large property platform? I know that you had a gap in the middle working within the fit-out space as well, and then I snapped you up. Never look back. Of course not. How you as an individual? How did you learn to sell? How have you found selling AirDXB in general? And then at your previous companies, how have you managed to move in the talents? And you do have talents. Have you managed to move that in and through?
So really, it actually started before that. For me, it drove all the way back to really young, fresh out of essentially doing my A levels, my gap year back in the UK. Working with a FTSE 250 company. They had a very strict policy. They wouldn't hire anyone unless they had university experience, which I didn't. Got off to my travels and then wanted to go straight into the working world in London. Snapped up by, I'd probably say, the best salesperson I've ever come across. Sales director of the company.
Hang on. Back then, you mean?
Back
Here now,
then,
today, still?
Back then. No, myself.
Good, watching his words. Very good. Oh, you now.
No, number 1, yes.
Okay.
I was distant second. And I think what you sort of taught me then, and it's come through to every single role I've actually done since then, is it's not just about real estate. It's not about what product you're selling. It's about what the client wants.
Yeah.
He just taught me from the start, if you're trying to speak to someone, you need to find out, number one fundamental, what do they want? What are they trying to get out of this? Why have they approached you? They've approached you for a certain reason. What is that? What is their aim with yourself and the solution which you're going to provide them? And it's really to come down to consultative sell. You've got a lot of people who will just pitch the company. We do X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z might not be relevant. It might be ABC, which they don't actually realize. So it really is just getting understanding of the client. Why have you come to AirDXB, for example? What is the reason that you're looking at short term? Trying to find these aspects out, and then obviously bringing the solutions with a company like AirDXB, where the solutions are fantastic. It's very straightforward. It really is. Makes it sound very easy. It's not the case.
It's not the case. As I'm saying, it's quite a feat what you've accomplished since you've been with us, that's for sure.
But I do put it down to the fact that actually caring a bit more about what people want. I've had it before, not sure if you'll be too happy. One or two people, I've said to them, this is not for them.
I do it.
Very simply.
Oh, no,
I
do.
don't want...
In fact, I only did it yesterday.
Yes.
I said to someone, this, we're not the right company. And I think... well, it's of course the right thing to say, but then I don't know if that human nature of, oh, well, if I can't have it, I want it. But then the angle changed, and from my perspective, it was a client that was after a certain style.
Yeah.
And I just said, well, look, you've come to AirDXB because there's things that you like. We're here to help, but we're not here to restructure or reevaluate everything that we do, because what we do works. And as we know, and as we've seen with our figures, do you know today, 99.2% occupied today?
I saw that.
Mad.
Phenomenal.
Mad.
And it really shows as well, tourism coming into the winter when this is when we ramp up. Next 8 months, this is what we're going to see far more consistently. So it's great to see that it is taking effects from what we projected as well.
100%. So sorry, winding this back. So you were saying how you were, you said to certain clients, what AirDXB wasn't right, or the short-let business model wasn't right?
Short-let, for example. Perfect example, we had a client coming to us. His biggest thing was, look, bought a property. I want to maximize my ROI at the moment, but I need cash now.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I said, look, I'll be very frank. We had a look at his property. Gorgeous unit. We'd absolutely love to brought it on. It would have been fantastic. But the problem is with our market is a monthly payout. Essentially, yes, you do get the payments per booking, but for all intents and purposes, it's consistent payout through a 12-month period.
So just specifying on that for people that are listening is that we have an agreement with booking platforms that the booking platforms will send money directly to the owner's account within 48 hours from that booking.
Correct.
So we're one of, well, I don't know anyone else that does this. It was a phenomenal. I think the only one.
Yeah.
I think we are. So
great
a
USP
phenomenal USP. Because it shows such a level of transparency. It's the client's money, it's not ours. And it gets sent directly to them from the booking platform. So, I mean, it's just phenomenal USP, but we're going to talk about that in a minute, actually, because I want to hear about that. But anyway, sorry.
Drawing it back to this one, he called me, he said, look, I'll be frankly honest, I've had a offer exponentially above market value, one check, long term. I said, right, well, look, what are your goals at the moment? What are your goals for the returns? He said, look, I need this capital because he wants to renovate a property back home. Very simply, he said, look, I do need the property. His offer came in about 50% higher than what the average market rate was as a one-off. We've not seen anything like it since. And he said, Louis, what do I do? I said, well, the thing is we can bring you on, then you might not be happy because the revenue isn't going to be cash in hand up front. I said, this probably suits your requirements best. Sorry to lose you. But the good news is what he's actually dealt with as a company and me as an individual. It's not someone who's just trying to jam it down his throat, saying, you need to take this, you need to take this, you need to take this. Someone's actually taken a step back and thought, look, this actually might fit your requirements better. So from now on, if he's going into the markets, and he's already said this to me, I've got some friends so I'm going to refer over to you. He sent me 2 of his friends' numbers. And he just turned around and said, dealing with Louis was refreshing. He actually turned around and said, actually cared what you wanted. He didn't force me into it. Worked out that actually this wasn't working. And we've actually sent a contract out about half an hour ago.
This is his friends?
One of his friends. We've sent a contract out. His property's coming on board. And then that person might send it across. So whilst we didn't take on one, we could get 5, 10 extra off the back of it from having a professional manner and caring about what they're doing.
We're saying the right things, but making the right decision, but helping the client get to that right decision. Short-let is not for everybody.
No, not at all.
And we won't drill down into it, but this last 12 months, let's say, we're coming to the new season, so the previous season was tough.
Yes.
A lot of property have got, a lot more, sorry, people have put their property into the market, but we've seen a lot of it come off, which again, we'll talk about in a minute with long term. But I believe that is the case, and we have to, as a business that, you know, we want to be perceived, of course, of being the right people, but also we've got to respect people that, and their properties and their money. And if it's not right, point it out, because otherwise, further down the line, it's not, and it's not good for everyone.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Last thing we want to have happy conversations with clients. Last thing I want is someone calling me saying, "Oh, I'm not happy about this or that." It's, you know, let's be honest from the start. And the great thing is, it happens maybe in 1 in 10. 90% when they're inquiring, they see the value there and they do come on board as a client. The other 10% isn't because AirDXB isn't right for them, it's because short-let might not be right for their requirements. And every single one of them turned around and said, "It's been a pleasure dealing with you. I will refer you on."
Which is great.
Yeah.
So who then is short-let for?
Short-let could be for everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Short-let is somebody who wants complete flexibility on their property whilst getting a consistent income through the year. Now, the problem is you have one instance or occasionally one blue moon where somebody wants one check, everything up front. You know, unfortunately, that might not be for them, even though they will make less returns over a 12-month period compared to short term.
And lose control over their property.
This is the problem. I've actually had clients come across to me now and saying, "Look, I don't care about the returns that you're going to be doing 25, 30% more than what you get on long term." They've actually said, as long as you get what I can do on long term, which we do anyway very easily after first 8-9 months. That's all I care about, because I have flexibility on my property. The second you put it onto long term, you lose 20% of your value when trying to sell the property if a tenant's tied in there.
I think losing value, maybe. But what I saw and what I did in Q1 of this year is sold a property for more. I didn't necessarily see the drop in the value. I saw that person, well, it was a buyer that said, "I need to move into something in the next 4 weeks. So anything that's tenanted, I've got no interest in it."
Yeah, that's
so
the problem.
you saw this portfolio of property just whittle right down. And then, of course, there's a level of desperation. Then, of course, we're in a rising market and everybody wants the property. I said, "Well, look, if you want it, I would suggest no nonsense, put down that offer." And he paid 13% above asking price. So
that's the thing.
Mad. And I have it, and I know you do, is that owners saying, "Well, I'm not going to sell it." Hang on, how do you know that? 2 years is a long time. If we consider a tenancy as a standard year, and then there's a year's notice that a landlord must give for those main reasons. So anything can change. And it's interesting, going back over to you, but interesting you saying that you've got someone saying, even if you make the same money, it's the fact I have that control. Was he an investor?
Yes, he was.
So he'll look to sell perhaps when the market does another 10%. If it does, but let's say it does, then he can exit.
But you never know, though. That's the thing. Like you said, I've got a very good friend of mine, chap called Oliver, and he has a 2-bedroom in Springs. Bought it with his wife. They said, "Look, this is going to be our home for the next sort of 5-10 years." They'd actually renovated the kitchen, renovated the garden. No intention to sell whatsoever. Villa's in massive demand at the moment. Got a call out of the blue. One of his friends who owns a company over in Dubai in the real estate side of things, huge offer came in, completely out of the blue, and they turned around and they said, "Well, let's move." These things do happen. It wasn't just for him, but it happens to investors who might not want to sell. They could get a huge offer in, and the chances of that offer coming in, if it's tenanted, like you said, 10-15% above market price, it's not really going to happen, especially for people who are looking to move in.
And that's if they can have a viewing. That's the other thing. You have tenants saying, "I don't want you in my home."
I do it. I don't let people in my home. I don't want to.
This is it. You've paid.
I'm not having them, yeah,
you've paid. So at least with what we do, and we've got owners currently doing it, that say block Monday and Friday.
Yes.
Then agents can do viewings. And then they know that it is secure, that they can sell that property when they want to, and that there is no friction, no issue, that people can come in, show the property around, and if they want to sell it, then they sell it.
And the best thing is, if they do that, they get someone in, all they have to do, drop me a message. "Hi, Louis, great news. We're happy for them. They've been open and honest with us. 30 days later, here are your keys back."
Yeah.
Nice and easy. Simple. No delays, nothing like that.
So what are the other benefits then of short term? Do you see? Coming into AirDXB, you're 6 months in, you haven't done short let before. So this is all new for you as a top salesman, you are. But with this type of atmosphere, I was going to say product, but it isn't, this type of atmosphere. What do you see as a big gain of short let? we've just talked about when you come around to selling it and you can see an uplift in it. What else have you seen in the market?
I'd say one of the biggest things, to be honest, is really also the revenue share. The revenue share is the biggest kicker for everybody. The first thing that happens when I speak to anybody, they're sending over their properties for yourself and the team to have a valuation on, is what is my ROI? What can I actually make beyond and above what I'm getting on the long-term side of things? And all things considered, I originally thought was short-term, the only ones which are going to be of interest to people are JBR, Marina, Palm, the prime areas.
The more prime tourist.
Exactly. I thought that would be it. I had no idea. Seeing what is being done outside of that, seeing these record-breaking rates coming in the secondary areas.
Sorry to interrupt this morning, well, waking up at 5 a.m. with some phenomenal news. Where you got 580 dirhams a night for a studio in Dubai South.
Yeah.
In November.
I know.
I did. I can't even say it now.
Brilliant.
Look at this end. This is absurd.
Yeah.
This is serious money. And when you, following off what you're saying there, just to give an example, it's ridiculous. And it is. It's something you have to read twice. And I did 3 times, if I'm honest. That's definitely a 5 and an 8 and a 0. Yeah, okay.
And I have to send this to people as well, because if I turn around and say this, they turn around and go, "Oh, sales tactic. He's just trying to get me on board." No, we're seeing these rates coming through, books out in full, paid by these people. It's brilliant. And it's a testament to Dubai, what they're doing at the moment. Obviously, throwing in the amount of incentives, conferences, everything that Dubai has to offer, it's driving the market. So, huge credit to what they're doing at the moment, the family.
So if we look at the benefits then of short let, not only are you retaining the control.
Yes.
So if you do want to sell it, you have, it's easy access, it's easy to sell. You may be in a fortunate position, especially if you ask Greg Lewis to get involved, to achieve more than the asking price. You will make more compared to long term. Anything else you think?
Do you know what I think is wonderful about short term? And I've seen it numerous times, even growing up as well with my parents. You buy a property at the moment and you put it on the long term, you might as well, you're never going to see the property again for at least a year or two of the current laws. The great thing about short lets and the lovely thing about Dubai, for 8 months of the year, not so much summer, it's quite hot, but 8 months of the year, if you want to come out for a week with the family, if you're a foreign investor, you've got family coming over, rather than having to come over and you're getting a call from family or friends saying, "Can I stay with you?" You mean basically, can you stay in my room and I'll sleep on the sofa?
Yeah.
You can actually turn around and go, "Actually, yeah, Greg, Louis, do you mind if I have my apartment back for a week? They're coming over in 4 months. Do you mind blocking it out?" Yes, of course. Well, it's your property. Why would you not be able to do that?
Yeah.
And short term brings back that control that, the asset which you bought, you can actually use when you want.
Still
you can use
your
it for
home.
family and friends. Exactly. And you don't get that long term.
And it's something that I've had to bring up with clients. And I've said, you come out to Dubai 3 weeks a year. Oh, I do. Where would you stay? Oh, in the marina. And I've said, roughly, that's 1,000 dirhams a night for a hotel room.
Yeah. Oh, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. It depends when you come out. And this client specifically was November, New Year's Eve, this sort of, time to come out. And so I said, okay, so do you realize how much money you're spending on a hotel? So I said, if you're coming out 3 weeks, that's 21 grand. So if you're going to go into long term, have you factored in that 21,000 you're now going to have to spend in a hotel rather than your own apartment?
Exactly.
Oh, God, Greg, you're right.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
I hadn't thought about that. And I just said, okay, so let's package this up together. You've got control. You sell it when you want to. You stay in it and save money.
Yeah.
Right? I think a very good thing is you go up and down with the market. I was talking to you about this, and it's something I'll just touch on now. A client of mine jumped. He was offered a wonderful check in January. It was for Studio One, Dubai Marina.
Oh, nice, yes.
90,000 dirhams. And Greg, this is absolutely fantastic. And I said, well, I'm still making you more money. No, it secures the money. The market now for long term is hovering around 100, 110.
Yes.
He can only put his rent up by 5%. So that's 90. That's 4,500. He's at 94.5. Yeah. And we've got 3 or 4 other properties, minimum. I know what studios, but 1 beds. Minimum. And we're making about 130 net for the client. Yeah. And he was. I wish I should get him on this podcast.
Actually, it would be good.
I should get him on the podcast. I can't believe what I've done. He said, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can't do a thing apart from put it up by the 4,500. And I said, well, there you are. Then we talked about the percentage increases, and I just said, you look, from a short-term perspective, 38% more than what you're on now.
Yeah.
You know, and you would have had control. You could have stayed in it, all these sorts of things. So,
And especially with gaming coming into the mix now, it's going to
if it
increase
comes,
everything.
if it comes,
If it
but
co- I think-
but as we know,
yeah.
the newspapers are suggesting that the regulation boards have been brought in. So look, I mean, that's a space we're all watching.
The thing is, these are
And
ones.
it'll be very interesting if it does come.
Yes, it would be a bit of a game changer, I'd say, for the Middle East.
Yeah.
But you know, all these new events.
Game
which are
changer for
coming
the
out,
world.
Massively, yes.
Game changer for the world.
Well-
Yeah, there's a lot of countries which will take quite a fancy to that. But I think we'll see how it goes. You're jumping the gun here because I was going to say to you, what's the forecast for this market going forward? What do you see happening with short-let?
Right now, I only see it increasing. And
Hang on. What do you see increasing? We're talking about returns.
I see returns
Right, okay.
increasing. The reason is very simple, and this is a testament to the city that we live in. Dubai as a whole, or the UAE in general, have moved away massively. They focus on tourism. It is their number one driver for the economy. They are doing absolutely everything in their power to attract more events coming through. COP28 coming through.
Sorry, just go on that. That's huge as well.
Massive,
Some of the rates we're
huge.
getting through for beginning of December.
And that's down in
Record-breaking.
Expo. Absolutely massive rates there. They've got COP28 coming. You've got all of these other events coming through. And Dubai, we all know, they announce in the news constantly, they're not slowing down. Emirates are ramping up flights massively to various countries. It is such a transient place at the moment. How can rates go down? And we're seeing this at the moment. 25 record-breaking rates in Q4 alone. We saw a one-bed book out in February, remember? 40,000 for a one-bed in downtown. 40,000. I couldn't believe it. It's unbelievable. And that was through February.
That's coming or just gone?
No, coming.
Yeah.
That's the upcoming February. That's for the full
that's
month.
A big one.
Massive.
Yeah, it's a big one. And in February, cracking month, but there's nothing going on in February to justify someone to pay that level of money
Apart from
in
great
that
weather.
time of year. And apart from great weather and managed by AirDXB, of course,
Obviously.
is that someone's paying that. But that is demonstrating, and that is clear data of what this market is doing. And I'm very. It's very hard to understand exactly the level of properties available in Dubai, but from what we see and understand, a lot of people. Well, we know this anyway. A lot of people going to long term, and a lot of people coming out of short term into long term. So is that creating less stock? Possibly, and with a consistent demand, you're then seeing the rates go up. If you look at what we're analysing, whether it's competitors, whether it's different points that we look at in the market, and then we're looking at the rates that are coming in, which is 20, 25, 26 record rates outside of New Year's Eve, and I want to make that clear, for this coming high season is absurd. And that is demonstrating factual data that this market is moving forward again. And I always make the point, if someone goes into short let, I say, well, it's not a bad thing, is it? Because that's one less property in competition with the clients that we represent.
Yeah.
And so I don't think this is a bad thing. As long as we continue to move forward, which we are, if properties do pour into the long term, then rates will continue to go up.
Look, I'm relaxed. This is great. More people going into long term. I'm loving it. You got all these companies. They're moving into long term. Fine. There's less properties short term.
Yeah.
You've got increase in tourism.
Yeah.
Emirates are announcing it already. You've got more people coming into Dubai. More people going into long term. Less stock. We've got a team bringing on 50 odd properties a month.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Yeah,
This is great.
Well,
I'm thrilled about this.
and the big one is it's for our clients.
Huge.
Because last year, and I haven't held back. I have been vocal. December was our worst year on record.
Yes.
December last year.
Yeah.
Why? I can't put my finger on it exactly. I have ideas on it, but then looking at what's coming now, it's like wow. And I would say that I think everybody made a charge for short let. It became very popular. Companies appearing, lots of property going on, but everyone. Thinks it's very easy to do this management side, and I think a lot of people realise this isn't easy and have thought, better, that's not for us. And then you've got a lot of homeowners that have said, well, look, I can get a check up front. It's like, well, and I say it, and I think it's going out a lot of our information at the moment. Don't think about today, think about tomorrow. This may make sense today, but in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, not going over what we've already discussed, it's a very different landscape, and especially if you need to sell it. But if it's like a seesaw. If everyone's now running back into long term, it's leaving this empty bucket here, and it's pushing up the rates for short term.
Going back to the point on not realising how much it takes to actually manage a property. One, let alone the amount of the hundreds we have on our portfolio. Absolutely loved it. I had a client come across to me, 2 units on the Palm, really, really nice. He's managing it himself. He just turns around and he says, Louis, I cannot tell you the headache that I have to actually manage this thing. Gorgeous property. Said, look, I need to find a company who's very, very good at what they do. Units on the palm, experience. Can you help me here? And I just laughed with him. And I said, I'll be honest as well, I had no idea till I joined. I thought it was quite straightforward. Send in the crew, get a quick clean, in and out. No. The absolute
I'll write a book one day.
machine. Be about 900 pages.
Well,
Enormous.
probably 1,000. I mean, what I've experienced, well, I've been in property since 2000, and I've set up holiday homes companies back in the UK, property management in the UK. I mainly specialise in selling very expensive properties in the UK, and then the same in Dubai. But I have a very strong real estate background. 23 years of it. But what I see, it's tough, and this is why I put in a lot of emphasis on the company and getting it right, because it's not all about the sell of short let and how great it is. We have to back that up, not only with the numbers, but with the quality of service.
Maintaining the portfolio.
Maintain the portfolio. And it's not straightforward, it's not easy. So, I mean, this is just going back to what we're saying. This is what I believe happened in the market. Everybody rushed into it. And I think I saw the tail end of Q2, where I was saying, well, hang on, rates are beginning to go up here, but then boom, summer. So then everything will drop off. So it's very hard to understand the market because the market is low. It's the tourism drops. Now we're coming into it. Where does this market lie? It's a lot more competitive.
Yes.
I was talking to the furnishing team and saying we need to elevate our game, and we've got some phenomenal projects coming through. Dubai in general is very tourist orientated, so we have lots of hotels or what have you, but as competition in general, but or options, I should say, for guests, because we do have guests that don't want to stay in hotels, and this is a better option for them.
It's not wanting to stay in hotels. I just think I'd love to stay in a hotel sometimes, but I think the fact is it's $1,500 a night.
Can't afford it
for a hotel. I stay in a hotel for a quick staycation, but it's one night and an out. It's definitely not for a week. As much as my fiance would love that, it's not going to happen. Not anytime soon. I'm trying to save for the wedding first. But having that option in a vicinity next to where the hotel is, where you've got access to the facilities as well, in some of these apartments for 50% of the cost, it suddenly makes Dubai such a more attractive place to be able to come on holiday. Whilst it's expensive here, accommodation as well in Dubai is a place where a lot of people want to drop their bags off and go and explore the city. Why spend $1,500 on a hotel when you can drop $700?
It comes down to disposable income if you can afford it. But I see several accounts, especially guests. One in particular, I use as a great example, was traveling to Australia. Was traveling with Emirates, wouldn't have stopped off in Dubai. Emirates Airline, that is. And said, do you know what? Because it's more affordable by having a short let style property. I've decided to come here for 3 days. So I said, well, there you go.
It's a lot of flights.
Well, extraordinary figure as well. 3 out of 5 people that stay in Dubai Marina will ask where the metro is. So there's a demographic that's coming into Dubai that perhaps didn't consider it before, that now does, because they have these other options. Now, that isn't necessarily what we do. Dubai in general is offering a lot more. There's a lot more different companies, whether it's F&B or whether it's attractions in general. I mean, Dubai is very good at offering lots of things for free.
Yes.
There's lots of things going on. I mean, you can look at the Burj Khalifa for free. I mean, that's great in itself. So there's lots that can happen there in itself anyway. Bring this back on to shortlist, what you're seeing. So in the marketplace in general, what we're seeing is that we are seeing record-breaking rates, 25, 26 properties so far.
Yes.
This is showing a better market coming.
100%.
Yeah. What do you foresee in the next 12 months? Tough question. Putting you on the spot. In the next 12 months, take out. I mean, COP's going to be phenomenal. We're already seeing it. This isn't a guess. We are seeing great rates. Is that we now push this forward from January onwards next year? I know we've had a phenomenal booking or bookings that have come in already. What do you see the landscape?
Well, the biggest thing as well is not just what's great for us as well on the short-term side of things is I see the rates exponentially increasing and occupancy rates increasing as well, because as I've already mentioned before, not to repeat myself, the amount of tourism that's coming through. Not just that, if you look at the Middle East in general, what's going on there? You saw the Qatar World Cup. It's in a different country. What happened to short term during the Qatar World Cup? Blew up in Dubai because people would literally want to come here, stop off, fly in and out, wanting to stay in Dubai. Look at what's going on over in Saudi at the moment. Sporting events, boxing, the amount of people who think about flying over, Tyson Fury fight. who live across in the UK, they'll come into Dubai for a couple of days, fly in
Because
Saudi
Dubai
for
has so much to offer.
fly in Saudi for a night, come back, and then they've got 3 or 4 nights in the short term here. So it's not just what Dubai are doing, it's what the wider Middle East are doing. And I think Dubai is the most attractive place for people to have a base if they're coming for 7 days. Hop across one of the GCC countries for 1-day events, come back, enjoy yourself in Dubai. So I think with that, off the back of everything else that Dubai is doing, rates are just going to go up. And especially with long term as well, the way it's performing, less people, or sorry, I should say more people from some of our other competitors are going into long term. Great. Again, still less stock.
Still less stock.
Still less stock. Higher demand.
I've always said it when I look back at when I first put the company together. Who's your biggest competitor? Long term.
Yes.
And back then, it was a very, very different landscape. Then we had COVID, very different landscape.
Yeah.
We're being tested. We're being pushed incredibly hard because you can't control that market condition. You can't control what long-term offers. But glass is always half full at AirDXB. It means there's less competition, which means there's less properties to book, which means rates only go one way, and that is up.
But I
so
think
our clients are making more money, and they are.
But I've got to say, I think it's also a testament to what AirDXB do. The fact that we are so proactive in the market, and this is what I love about us, from what I see about some of our other competitors and feedback from clients. We proactively look at the rates for all of our clients. Ultimately, as a company, if we make money, our clients make money. We're happy, we're tied in with them. We will always look to see where we can push rates and push occupancy rates. We've got the team who look at the properties twice a day to see what needs to be adjusted to maximize profit for ourselves, obviously, and also ultimately for our clients. And that really is a testament to ourselves as a company. I absolutely love it.
No, agreed. I put the company more as manual rather than automated.
Yes.
It's so easy to automate. It's like our pricing. Flick a button, give it to software. But how does the software know what your view is, what your furnishing level is? Software tends to look at just the radius. And this is something I refuse to do. And still to this day, and in fact, I was doing it before this podcast, every single property, what's it doing? What's the price? What's the click-through rate? What's the level of bookings? What's the competition looking like? There's all these sorts of things that we factor in. And I think this is why we deliver what we deliver. And a 99% occupancy here now today on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of properties is very good.
Show me a company who automates their rates, who's got an occupancy rate over 80% for the year. There isn't anyone. Nobody who uses these automated rates have an occupancy rate over 80% over 12 months. So I absolutely love it. Downside is you're messaging me at 5 o'clock in the morning talking about rates, and that slowly is killing me.
You're up anyway.
Yes, no, I am.
Don't give me any of that. I'm just testing you. This rate's coming. What do you think of this? It's excellent, isn't it?
So our clients know. We're up at 4
What can I say?
a.m.
I'm always working. I say I don't use software. I actually am. I'm a robot.
Yes.
I don't sleep. I'm consistently working.
Greg Lewis, AI.
Boom. Exactly that. Let's talk about AirDXB.
Yes.
Company that you've been with for 6-7 months now. Yep. What do you find that AirDXB offers prospective clients when you're doing the pitch or what have you, more or better? What do you feel that AirDXB can give that client compared to the wider competition out there?
Biggest thing for me is transparency and communication. 100%. This is where we stand the test of time above everybody else. Rates in December. Anybody can rent an apartment out short term over New Year's Eve. They can do. We do it better. But it comes down to communication, transparency. When a client comes on board, we've had so many people come up to me and say, Louis, problem is when we've gone with a different company, we've gone on board, we've had this whole pitch that are easily accessible on the phone, and then radio silence.
Yeah.
You get an email address which says info@sales@ whatever it may be, .ae, send an email, 3 business days, and may come back to you.
Yep.
Whilst it's exhausting, having a WhatsApp group which we create for every single owner who comes on board, which has myself, yourself, the business owner, our general manager, Mitch, 2 customer care managers in a WhatsApp group. So when they're firing any questions, or if they want anything to be elaborated on, being able to have somebody, a real person, respond to them same day, nobody else does that. And that is such a USP for us, having somebody that they can actually speak to. Worst case scenario, if one of us are in a meeting, we're busy, bring on clients, we're dealing with their needs, they've got somebody else who they can contact. That is the biggest thing I've heard from people coming up to us and saying, having this absolute transparency and level of communication is something no one else provides.
And we do our best with it. I mean, everything, nothing's perfect. We're in hospitality. There's a lot of moving parts. But the reason I put that in also is uploading videos and all this sort of stuff. And again, a lot of people look at me and say, wow, you are creating a lot of work. It's interesting that the team we have experience with other people in doing this, say, wow. However, what a phenomenal thing that people can get hold of us. It is a name, it is a person. It's
exactly.
It's a person, not just a name, and that they can move forward that way, and that we can be reactive. And I think that's the thing to be, is to go against the grain. You know, I think, especially in short-let, what I feel is everybody's moving in the same direction. What I've done with AirDXB, where everyone's gone left, I've gone right.
Yes.
So whether that's clients being paid directly, notice periods. So we only offer a 30-day notice period, and that is it. Competition 60 to 90 days.
I just want to touch on the notice period as well. And this is something which I absolutely love. You've got so many people who, when they're getting into the short term, their biggest concern is, you're telling me I'm going to get 25 to 30% more. You could just tell that to me, and then you lock me in for a 6-month notice period, 9 months notice period, and when you don't deliver, I'm still stuck. Then what? With our notice period of 30 days notice, any point in time, no fees applied, in my opinion, we're on trial every 30 days. We're absolutely on trial. We have to proactively manage everything.
Do you know what? I've never looked at it that way.
We're on trial every single day.
I've never looked at good.
Because if we have a bad month, ciao, goodbye.
Yeah.
They're off. They can literally just turn around and go, you know what? And people are fickle. Even though they know that's...
and the fact we got long-term looming as well. But the whole thing is, we don't put our money where our mouth is, but we put whatever it is, a testament to our ability where our mouth is, better expression. That's why I did it. I have nothing to hide.
Yep.
So those 30 days, and the 30 days is really just because you look at booking lead times, can average anywhere between 7 and 21 days.
And also to make it easier if someone wants to sell, that they can have their keys back.
Correct. And so we've got nothing to hide unless, 30 days, there we go.
Yeah, put us on notice. Literally, every single time we have a look at the booking, I know that we're literally 30 days away from someone not being happy and leaving. That is why we have to be proactive. That is why we look at these rates on twice a day. This is why we're a manual company, not an automated one, to make sure that's the case. It's brilliant. 100%. Clients absolutely love it. They just go, we know that you're actually going to be driving yourselves as a company every single day. Otherwise, we could leave quite easily.
Exactly.
It's brilliant.
That's exactly the way to look at it. So if you look at the fact that booking platforms pay the owners directly within 48 hours. 2 business days, 48 hours.
Love that. Awesome.
Oh, well, we don't want to touch clients' money. It's theirs. It's for them to have. It's incredibly transparent.
No hidden fees. None of this.
There's
25 dirham admin fee here or there.
None of that.
Straight from the source.
That's why I set the business up. Simplify.
Makes our lives easier.
Well, this is it. I mean, you can write a business plan 10 pages long. I got rid of half of that. I just said, right, what are we doing here? What are the main problems that I foresee in short-let in general, globally?
Yeah.
All right, transparency. How do I get paid? Where's their delays? Right, how do we stomp this out? It's never going to be perfect, but let's keep going and keep trying to get to that level where it is perfect. It's very, very, very tough to get. So if we look at our USPs, clients get paid directly. Other thing to note on that, of course, is that they get a booking confirmation email from that booking platform. So they can see who's going in, money paid,
full
a picture, full details. It's not, we don't generate from our own software. And this is something I'm really, again, anti about. I want our clients to see booking platform, the calendar.
Yes.
I want them to see the booking confirmation emails from that booking platform, not generated by us, not our software where we control.
Yeah.
I want someone else, them to demonstrate. I'm sorry, get my words out. I want them to see it from someone else so it's clearly demonstrated.
It's real life. It's not us essentially altering it, which is brilliant.
Correct.
And you get a nice shiny picture of your guest who's coming in there, their profile picture from Airbnb. Unfortunately, not you and I, but much prettier pictures coming through.
No one wants to see
that. I just got rejected for my last one. Saw that, no.
No, thank you. God, not him again. Yeah, out you go.
Me looking 10 years younger.
Yeah, I need to update that picture, don't I?
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, we all do. So if we look at the USPs on AirDXB, you get paid directly. You got that level of transparency because you're seeing the booking platform and you have access into that. You have a 30-day notice. Is there anything else that you see when you're selling AirDXB that is a phenomenal asset to the client that you're signing up?
I think those are the 3 main ones.
Yeah.
To be frankly honest, and also actually touch on that, tell a lie. The best thing as well is that we are a full 360 circle company. Now, what I mean by that, if you want to come along, and we all know the biggest thing about a property is what it looks like. Whilst location is very important, it's very, very important,
Yeah.
it is not the be-all and end-all. If you go into property, let's say, I don't know, bang opposite the Burj Khalifa, New Year's Eve, and it's not been touched for 25 years, furnishing's old, been bought off to Bizzle, second hand, it's going to affect the rates. People won't like it. Having a furnishing department who work with ourselves to capitalize on the ROI, to put the furnishing in there, not too expensive, just the right amount to maximize clients' ROI is massive.
Correct.
Renovations.
We're here, just on that. We're here to make clients money, not spend it.
Exactly.
So what we want to do is furnish it to a level. I mean, I had the girls on the podcast, which I know you've seen before, but it's furnish it to a level because I went into this when I set this up as saying picture speaks 1,000 words, not what we do. Picture speaks 1,000,000 words. People are booking from cities, countries all around the world. Don't necessarily read the description, but if they like the pictures, that's what we go for.
Yes.
So absolutely right that the pictures or the furnishing has to be that good because the pictures are going to demonstrate that.
And it's not just that as well. Beyond that, we've got renovations.
Yeah.
If you want to renovate the property, if you want to upgrade it, we have a team who will do that. Wrapping the property. Coming to AirDXB isn't just coming to a property management company, it's coming to a full services company across the short-term market. And I think that is where we are very, very different from a lot of other companies who will not provide the full circle scope.
Well, I treat each part of it. So whether that's interiors wrapping, that's separate, as almost an individual company.
Separate entity.
So we give so much energy into it.
Yeah.
It's not treated as a bolt-on. It's not treated on, oh, well, we have to do that to be able to do that. No, we get that right because that then supports the next step of the process. And if we just focus on interiors, that's exactly it. The girl or the team will go in and furnish specifically for that property. No property looks the same. If you haven't listened to the podcast, listen to the podcast. It's brilliant. They can talk about that more and the level of transparency we offer there, which is great. But it's making sure that you're bringing the true attributes of that property to life. And with furnishing, that's what you've got to do. But you're absolutely right. You could have the Burj Khalifa, which is phenomenal, but inside isn't great. And we are pushed incredibly hard by booking platforms that if guests don't like what they see and they complain, the booking platforms are more guest orientated rather than ourselves. So there is no room for error.
This is the thing.
Get it right.
That's why I've got superhost status.
Because
every single time we bring on a property, the biggest stickler is we go and do an inspection. We want to make sure that our portfolio in general is something to be admired.
Yeah.
We don't just take on absolutely any rubbish at all. No. And this is reflexive in the clients we deal with.
And
we let them know.
And that we had to say no to. I think I remember getting up to a ratio, which was quite interesting. I think we were turning away about 5 properties a month.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying it's not. I'm sure it's right for whatever you want it to do, but for what we are trying to do at AirDXB is by offering a quality product. Now, you can put a lot more money in. You could go and spend 30, 40, 50,000 dirhams on a sofa.
Yes.
I really, well, in fact, there are several occasions where I've actually said to owners, I don't think I want to take it on because of the stress of having a 40, 50,000 dirham sofa to worry about. But
I couldn't even get one myself.
You can go on that, exactly that. But you need to find that balance so that the right level of money goes in to make sure that product looks as good as it can.
Yes.
But we are here to make that client money and protect their money. So we don't want to go and spend 60, 70,000 when we can do it for 30, 40,000. And this is what's great about the furnishing team we've got is that they will look at it and they shop specifically for that property, capitalizing on offers, capitalizing on the contacts that they have to bring the overhead down, thus pushing up the client's net income.
And this is the thing, that's what I love as well. And we're seeing not just clients coming to us as a company, we're seeing real estate agents contacting us almost every single day, just going, hi, look, we've seen some of your videos on furnishing, we've seen some of the podcasts, seen what you guys are doing, we've heard about you in the market. We've got a client who we need you to look after on the short-term side of things.
Do you get quite a lot of agents coming to you?
Yeah, we do. I reckon 2, 3 a day.
And what's the benefit of them coming to you? How do you assist them?
Twofold, really.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things at the moment is you get agents coming across to us going, right, look, we've got an investor looking at the short-term market for obviously the reasons spoke about, looking for higher returns, flexibility, not being tied up on the property. What can they actually make? And this is before they've bought. So what we're able to do, and we've got a team of broker liaisons who actually deal directly with the agents, is they'll put together a return on investment report. They'll have a look at the property the client's looking to purchase. They'll crunch the numbers, and they'll put together a very nice report. Gross returns, all the deductions, complete transparency down to your net return. Then we provide that report to the agent who provides it to their client. Now, I think we've assisted on about 70 odd transactions, if I'm not mistaken, this year from these reports going to agents and their investors buying off the back of it. So immediately we're helping agents off the back of that. Not just the agents, but the people who are buying the property know it's not just some speculative number which has come out of thin air. Once they bought the property, they've got a reputable company they can go to and give the property to manage. So it really does help agents at the moment.
And we make sure that we perform on that, of course, because that is an agent's client. So we're here to get it right. We're here to help the agent and their client by offering a different avenue to go down with their investment. But then also we're here to deliver and for that client. So the agent feels comfortable that AirDXB is running it. And we've had multiple occasions where the agents have said, client loves it. They've asked us to go and buy them more. Advise on buying more. So that is a phenomenal side. I mean, so from an agent's perspective, we're here to help and support that. And we do have a team to allocate. We do have a team that's allocated to help those agents and to support them accordingly.
Yes, 3 lovely ladies on the team, Hayley, Taylor and Mia. So they are the broker liaisons for the team. So anyone wants any assistance on that, they can just reach out directly to them. And they're here to help all the way through. But the biggest thing, which I absolutely love as well, and the real estate market can be quite fickle. Someone passes a client along to somebody else and, they take it away and sending it off to whoever it is in the real estate market. Doesn't work like that with us. Put the client's name on our CRM system. Everything's recorded there. If they come back saying, oh, we're looking at buying another property, we're looking at doing this or that, we call up the agents again. Oh, by the way, that client you referred to us, can you help us find something for them to put on the short-term market again? It is 360. When you pass on back to us, you're not sending it off completely. It will come back to you in some shape or form.
No, agreed.
Which I absolutely love. And that's where we get repeat business from agents coming to us and saying, look, the feedback we've got is fantastic. Last thing, what people are very nervous about is they give along one of their trusted clients, then doesn't work out. They're going to get phone calls saying, why the hell did you recommend this company? You don't know what they're doing. And it does happen, unfortunately, in the market. So yeah, we've got a lot of agents who do come to us as repeat clients at the moment, which is brilliant. It's another source of business. And that's why we're seeing record-breaking numbers coming onto AirDXB.
Oh, great. And I've worked with brokers for a long time. In fact, we had Gina on here from Strada 2-3 podcasts ago. And we're talking about how that works. I mean, I'm just pointing him out because we've done an awful lot together, but it goes hand in glove, and it's all about protecting that client, giving the right advice, just giving another option rather than long term, etc., etc., etc. Right. Okay. So just bringing this podcast to an end. But in a good way.
Yes.
No. Unfortunately.
I had a great time. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having me.
We may have you back.
I hope so.
We may have you back. It's taking you away though from dealing with all these clients. I'm not too sure, but we'll wait and see.
That's why I want to come back.
We will have you back, I'm sure. Is right back to the beginning of this conversation, talking about you and your salesmanship. Very quickly, because we need to wind this up.
Yes.
Is looking at how you have sold in the past, dealing with different companies, different platforms, different situations, and then coming into the short-term rental, easier or harder? Caught you out there.
Oh, I know. I'm going to say easier.
Why is it easier?
Because of the amount of solutions we can provide to people. And that's why it's easier. A lot of times where I've been somewhere, it's maybe we can provide A and B. If we can't provide that, then it just doesn't work for them. There are so many avenues where clients come into us where short-term works for them. There's so many options to be able to provide. Say, what are you looking for? We have this. What takes your fancy? What works for you? And having the amount of options, because of, as we've gone on this podcast, the amount of reasons come on short-term, it does make it an easier sell.
What's an easier sell? Short-term or short-term and AirDXB?
Oh,
apologies. Sell, is it you because they want to come to short term and selling at AirDXB is easy? Please say that. Or is it selling short term as an entity?
I don't think that I could sell short term as well without the flexibility, the transparency that AirDXB provides. We've already touched upon this. The 30-day notice period, the WhatsApp groups with all of us on there for people to get in contact. These are all USPs, which I utilize to the best of my ability. Being paid directly from Airbnb themselves, for example, I couldn't do this as easily. I still could do it because I'm quite good, but not as easily as couldn't do it as easily without the USPs AirDXB provide.
Yeah.
And that does make selling the short term so much easier. And that is true.
That is true. Well, good answer. And I think on that note...
Am I still employed?
We will... Of course you are.
Thank you.
Of course you are.
Perfect.
Well, look, thank you so much. I mean, it's great to have you in here. Just to understand a bit more from your perspective. You're right at the coalface. You are meeting people that are either on the fence or to short-term, long-term, what company to choose and all this sort of thing. So it's great to just get an insight from you and an understanding of how you see it, what we're seeing in the market at the moment, what we may well be seeing going forward. So look, I thank you for your time.
No, brilliant.
As
Thank you
always.
very much.
And we look forward to welcoming you back.
Perfect. Cheers.
Thank you very much. If you want to learn how AirDXB can dramatically increase the return on your asset, then drop us an email at gregory@air-dxb.com or visit our website air-dxb.com.